Wow. Uh, so, how you doing? So, I see that you guys see that Don't Listen premiered the other day, and it is doing really, really well in relation to any video I've posted so far. So I'd like to thank you guys for all the support and all the kind words. This wasn't an easy project, but me and my team wanted to make sure it came out as well as it could in a month turnaround. Funny story though, at the start of us producing that music video, they sent me a TourBox and an XPPen tablet that I used while working on Don't Listen. So stick around and I'll both give you my thoughts on these items, and there's an art contest announcement at the end some of you I know will want to hear about. Before MomoCon was going to roll around, I wanted to try and knock out the Amanda music video, which we did make amazing progress on, but on the day before we had to travel to Atlanta for the convention, it was pretty clear that technical difficulties and scope were going to prevent this video from being fully finished to show. Around the time that I had started though, I was already in talks with XPPen about a sponsorship, and they were kind enough to send me both a TourBox Elite and the Artist 24 Pro.
I wanted to show off my, what the f? Epic Games notifications are so annoying. I don't even play Fortnite. Okay, real quick, I want to show off my new current setup now that I have both the TourBox Elite and the Artist 24 Pro. Those are the two items that XPPen had sent me. Now, first I'll talk about the TourBox, because that's the one that showed up first. I didn't really know anything about the TourBox before they had sent it to me. The only thing I knew is that I think my friend Moke had one. So I went into this pretty much blind, and when I opened the box and I saw it, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a really strange gaming controller type thing, but it's made for like multimedia kind of artists. Anyone can use it. You could be like an illustrator, you could be an animator, you could be a video editor, you could be doing music. You could use this for pretty much anything because all the buttons on here are programmable. I think right now I'm going to show off how I used it in Adobe Animate. See, here we got Wooly. Yay, Wooly. Like I said, the TourBox is programmable. And I think even on the website, they have presets for different programs. They did not have a preset for Adobe Animate, so I had to program them myself. In fact, let me open up the program that lets you do that. I think it's TourBox console. Yeah, here we go. You can see on my settings, I have a specific preset for Adobe Animate that I created. I even was able to link it so that it auto switches to this whenever I am using Adobe Animate. If I could probably make one for After Effects, but I haven't tried programming that. You can program the buttons to do pretty much whatever you want and then label what they do. One of the coolest aspects about this is that the TourBox it has both buttons and also knobs with haptic feedback, which is the coolest shit fucking ever. Not only that, but this is wireless. Like this looks like it's plugged in, but it's actually not plugged into my computer right now. I actually have it wirelessly connected, and it still works. Now, the way I have set up my TourBox is I use these as basically regular arrow keys. So say like I select his let's select his faceplate. If I use this, it will move up and down just like how it would if I was using just the arrow keys, because I programmed it to be like that. This right here is the redo button, and this is the undo button. I think this is just a regular scroll. The one that I think is the most useful for me, specifically when I'm using Adobe Animate, is that I've made both these spinning knobs connected to the timeline. So let's say if I wanted to just scroll through regular frames in the timeline, I could just do this and it will incrementally go through them. Very useful, very cute. But if I instead want to just cycle through keyframes specifically, which are like those black dots that signify a new drawing and or unique frame, I use this instead. And since I'm on the faceplate layer, it's only going to go to the keyframes that are on the faceplate. I have a ton of other combinations on here. I'm pretty sure this right here is the save button. I better not press that. Then I think I use these and combinations of this with other keys to create new keyframes or blank keyframes, etc., etc. And then I think these two buttons are like shift and control, because there's a lot of commands that require you to just use those. So I've basically suited this up to where most timeline functions that I need to use when animating are connected to the TourBox. And this shit has been very, very useful. It's made animating with this very simple. In fact, I had used, when I first got the TourBox, I had used it when working on the
You think that everything runs?
video. I forgot what I specifically named it. And I had specifically challenged myself to where I wanted to animate it using only this, barely using the keyboard. And I was able to not use the keyboard for majority of it. The only times that I had to bring out my keyboard was when I needed to type something.
You hear me? We don't have much time. You need to...
Brody, where did you go? We're not done playing our game.
Listen to me. You need to destroy these tapes. You need to get out of here before they...
So another thing that you probably noticed is this big ass tablet. And it's big because this monitor is already pretty big and they're pretty much about the same size. I felt that way. In fact, let me mind how messy my place is. This here is the box that the tablet arrived in. This thing is huge. Now, when they first approached me about sending me a tablet to review, I wasn't too extremely into it because I was really satisfied with the Huon tablet that I have. In fact, where did I put that? Ooh, yes, this thing. Oh, this is dusty as shit. Goodness gracious. Now this Huon tablet, I already felt was pretty big. It gave me a decent sized screen. It's definitely bigger than my iPad. And I loved just drawing on it, especially in programs like Adobe Animate. Smooth as butter. Completely enjoyed it. I didn't think that I was going to be able to find anything else that would benefit me in the same way that this did. And then they sent me this thing. They asked me, what size tablet do you have right now? I said, oh, I have the Canvas 14 Pro, which I think it would imply that it's 14 inches. They respond with, oh, we can send you the Artist 24 Pro. And it doesn't click to me how large 24 inches is. So imagine my surprise when this fucking box showed up, large as hell. Hi, Estella. Hi, baby girl. Hi. I was flabbergasted. I just straight up was flabbergasted. So this thing is so big, I had to change up my whole setup because this desktop right here used to be up here next to my Huon tablet, which would be in the center here, the keyboard, etc., etc. I had to move my whole desktop just to make sure that this thing could fit on my desk. I think I even also had to move this over slightly to make room. Am I having regrets? No, not at all. I love this thing. I think literally its size is probably the biggest factor. Especially because a program like Adobe Animate is already kind of UI condensive. It already has like a ton of stuff on its UI. And when I was working with the Huon tablet, I would often have to shrink these windows a ton just to be sure that I could get a decent size of the screen, or just keep looking really closely for detail. With it bigger, I don't have to do that as much. Like with rigs like these, where there's so many parts to be able to look at all of them at once, especially because there's instances where I need to make a keyframe for every single part at once, and I don't think Adobe Animate natively has something that makes keyframe all layers. If there is one, I would love to know about that. It means that I can do this and still somewhat see the screen. Even if I like only need to see half of it, I can still see the animation somewhat up here because it's larger. It's larger. I don't know how possible it is to see it, but there are also, like that's on this with knobs, there are also some scroll circles here that I don't think I've programmed them to do anything yet. Like, they're just kind of doing what they're preset to do, which seems to be zooming in, or zooming out. It doesn't really seem like it zooms back in. And on top of that, they also have some buttons on the sides here that I'm probably going to someday take time and code these buttons so that all these tools are mapped to one of them, so I don't have to keep moving my cursor over to click on these when I could just press them. It would pretty much... all the things that I didn't feel would have made sense to put on the TourBox, I can probably put onto the tablet.
If you're interested in either of these products I showed off, There's a link to them in the description and in the comments of this video. And if you use the promo code Jakeneutron5, all one word, all capital letters, you get an extra 5% off in their official store. Now before this video ends, I do have a few more announcements. So recent subs who've been keeping up probably have seen me drop a Moon Girl song about a month ago. And if you know the pattern, you know there's a music video in the works for it. Well, let me show you a preview of... Oh.
That's the girl.
Yes, perfect. Well, I thought this would be a fun opportunity to get you guys involved in sharing the love for that show. So I'm working with XPPen to host an art contest by posting on Twitter, using the hashtag MoonArtMagicJN, and by following me and XPPen on Twitter, you can enter your own Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur fan art into this contest. Most participants will have their art featured in the upcoming music video, but 3 first place winners will be able to win free tablets provided by XPPen themselves. Specifically, 2nd and 3rd winners get Deco tablets, while 1st place wins a screen tablet. The contest will run for 2 weeks, and then the winners will be announced about a week later. This will be the 2nd time I've done an art contest like this. I'm sure like last time, y'all are gonna blow me away with what you can create. I think that's all for now with this video. I like to highlight that we have a new merch store with Fourth Wall, where designs of Splotch, Public Oswald, and even some /Pibby lore related stuff are on there. Purchasing merch can be a way to help us with funding more projects from Team Neutron. Same with donating to Ko-fi. If you can't contribute financially, then watching, subscribing, commenting, and sharing are also very helpful. Oh, also last minute addition, if you guys want me to do any behind the scenes video on the animation or music, let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!